Well, 5 championships. Does anyone stand out more than any of the other ones?
I think the first one was the one that, because you finally did something, you know, and then we went downhill for 2 or 3 years. We got caught up in technology and all, and then we came back, and then we ran 3 in a row together. And in the meantime, there's some we had second and second and second. And you go back and look at how many things you broke on input shaft here, this happened there. Just how you could have, should have, would have, but didn't. Second was easy to get to, but first was hard.
See, I like what you're saying there. Instead of talking about remembering the ones you won, you remember the ones that you lost.
They're the harder ones.
Yeah,
they're the harder ones.
You look back at it. I mean, that's a great statement.
You know, I remember, you know, racing Dick LaHaye. If I beat him, I win the championship. I got him covered in the input shaft breaks. Another time I'm racing Dick LaHaye, Columbus, Ohio. We're side by side. We both kind of drifted to the center. I got him. I'm beating him. He blows up, literally. He blew up so violently. The explosion came in my face. I knee-jerk reaction, lifted off the throttle. It just like, because I thought I was literally in the fire technically, but the boom, and I lifted and I lost because I lifted and he was like, he had the momentum, and you know, we looked at the tape and the video later. And you know, just one of them deals.
Well, we've got a bit of a cleanup going. And so we have Bob Vandergriff available to us. And have you finally gotten your heart down from last week? Not only the first Wally, but that long run. What were you thinking?
Yeah, I finally got my breath back, but I think I just barely got it back. It's been quite a week for the whole C&J team, quite a high for all of us, and it's really been overwhelming, the support we've gotten from my friends and family, people who've used to work for us, companies we've been involved with, friends from my dad's from years back have all, you know, contacted us, congratulating us. It's been a great week.
Did you intend to hop out of the car and run back to the track, down to the start line, or was that just thought of the moment?
No, that's something I've always wanted to do. I figured when I finally did win one of these things after losing so many of them, I didn't want to be standing down here by myself while my guys celebrated on the starting line. So I've been planning this for a while, that when I won, I was going to run back to the starting line so I could join in with the celebration with those guys. And it seemed like a great idea until I actually did it. And it was 100 degrees outside, and all that gear on and the helmet, and these shoes aren't made for running or anything. And but I'll do it again if I can win this weekend.
Well, I tell you what, Bob, I got tired just watching you do that. But, you know, since you brought on Rob Flynn and Mike Guger, I mean, the team definitely has seemed to turn around. And how good of a job has Rob done up to this point in your mind?
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, it's been a total transformation from our team. Our car goes down the racetrack just about every run. The guys that are working on the car, they've done a phenomenal job, along with Rob, you know, guiding them, you know, Mike Guger and the other team providing information. The 2 cars has been a big help. Now we just got to get the other one into the winner's circle.
Next time, get a golf cart.
Yeah. Well, J.R. Todd and Brandon Bernstein have been on hold for years with a scooter down track to pick me up, but neither of them were there for me on Sunday. So, but payback's a bitch, they always say.
Bob, this is Joe Amato. Did J. Don Blake contact you, your golfing buddy?
He did. He sure did. And it was pretty cool because he just won for the first time on the senior tour the week before. And it'd been 20 years for him in between wins on the PGA Tour and the senior tour. So yeah, for him to win and then me to win the following weekend, it was we're going to celebrate in Vegas with a round of golf when we get out there.
I've been following him. I go watch my buddy Nick Price play sometimes. I run into Jay Don on the tour, and he definitely is doing good out there. He's really kicking butt.
Yeah, he's had a great year. He's in the top 10 on the money list, and he's playing this weekend in Raleigh, and I saw he shot 400 today, so he's keeping it going, and there's no reason we can't either.
Well, speaking of that, how good is your golf game?
Actually, it's pretty good. I haven't been able to play much, but when I have, it's been pretty good. In fact, I played in a tournament the other day and shot 2 under par and won our little flight deal. So when I get out there, I try to make the most of it.
Well, Bob, congratulations on last week. We hope you don't have to wait nearly as long. This weekend would be a nice time.
Yeah.
But please, don't run down the track again.
Well, I've had people ask me, is that going to be my signature move, or is that just something that's going to be a one-off deal? And they'll have to wait till the next win to find out.
Okay. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Well, as you see, the lights are on. It gets darker and darker here in Reading, and Top Fuel has fired up. That's Terry McMillan. And Bob Vandergriff is already down track, and the track is 79 degrees. Does it ever get too cold?
Oh, it can definitely get too cold. 79 degrees is still manageable. And the range of being too cold is kind of varied, and a lot of it depends on the tire that Goodyear provides. They've changed it over the years from time to time, and right now, I mean, you get track temperatures down in the 70s. You're kind of getting on the edge. It's still, like I said, relatively manageable. You get down to 60, 50 degree track temperatures, I mean, hang on, you're probably get some tire shape.
Well, Grubnick needs to make something happen. You're looking at Terry McMillan, his 50th race in Top Fuel. He is not yet in the top 12. Grubnick is 9th in the points. And if he is going to do anything, it has to happen now. But he's well below Mike's line. And I think probably thinking about coming up with the best season finish and not really looking at a championship.
Remember, we ran a race in Topeka one time, and it was like 39 degrees out, and the track temperature was like in the 50s. And my crew chief says, I don't know how to get down this track. He says, just go out there and grab the brake at some point and hang on for a little bit and let go and see what happens. And it went right down the racetrack, and hardly anybody else could except for Doug Collette on one run, and that was against me in the second round. But it's tough to get down a cold racetrack if it gets real cold.
You were always good at grabbing the brake, Mike. I remember that.
Wow, you get to watch that engine go away for Terry McMillan.
3:18.60.
Nice run.
So for McMillan, 3:96, 3:82 for Dave Grubnick. And Grubnick moves up to 4th. Nice.
Oh, they got to definitely be happy with that. We're talking about Dave Grubnick, the right side of your screen. See, Terry McMillan lighted up, as you said, Joe, on that onboard we saw a little bit there. Looks like he probably pushed out a head gasket just before the finish line. Oh, yeah, pushed out pretty good. Car still, you can still be under power. You lose some power, but the car doesn't nose over real bad, so the driver doesn't necessarily feel when head gasket pushes out until the rods start coming out the bottom, and then obviously
he'll lose the qualifying time if it puts oil on the track.
Yep, and it looks like he did. There's stuff down there, so that run will get thrown out, but that probably doesn't matter because it wasn't quick enough to get in the top 12 anyway.
And when you're driving the car and you blow the motor up, you really feel like double bad because you have to pay the bill, and then now you lose the qualifying time, so that's like really hurts.
Well, and you just mentioned it. You're looking at Terry there. You're an owner. What is the bill going to be on something like that?
It could be pretty bad. I mean, it depends how, if he really blew the motor, blew the block and the heads, and it's thousands, over 10,000 real quick.
Wow.
Well, we showed that one of Clay Milliken in Indianapolis, and he didn't. I mean, it didn't hurt the manifold or supercharger or injector or anything, but it did hurt pretty much everything below that, and we figured it was about 25 grand just for that.
Every part on the car is like 2, 3, 5,000. If you hurt the crankshaft, and everything has a shelf life, so you beat it up like that, it shortens the shelf life.
Well, I remember back the first race I came here in Maple Grove was in 1971 with my dad, and he had built a funny car, and he was a dragster guy, and he didn't know if he was going to want to do it. Back then, this was 1970, and everybody had the big chassis with the torque flight transmissions and all that. And my dad says, well, him and Woody Gilmore, they built this really light funny car, and it was the first dragster style chassis. And he just took his engine out of his dragster, high gear only, and put a low gear in it, went out and ran the thing to see if it worked. And they built that car because my dad didn't know if he wanted to go funny car racing because he thought they were kind of crazy. But that car with a rolling chassis, basically, with no engine and drivetrain, $3,500 he built that car for. That was even cheap back in that day, and we got a lot of publicity off of that. And that car went out and grossed $45,000 in 1971, which was huge.
But that's good. The numbers have changed so much. You can't buy a wing for that money now.
And $45,000 costs you to run one race now.
Right, exactly. It's amazing. You need definitely the big buck sponsors to make it happen. Good to see you, son.
We got a visitor, guys.
Got a visitor in the booth.
Hold on.
Oh, come on down where the camera.
You got to show them where they can see you.
You're in the wrong door. Come on down here.
We're live, by the way, John.
Put that on.
Live.
Spend some time with us, my friend.
Here we go. There we go,
John. Good to have you here.
I already apologize to the crew at the other end if you're down there. I was wound up. I need to watch my cars run. I don't know how to tune them, but I like to be part of it. And the boats went down. And then when I got over there, they're yelling at me to get to the scales because they're going to throw my run out because I didn't weigh, and I'm telling them I got to go. There was a lot of stuff going on while they were trying to wrap me in antennas and shit.
What?
So, what?
Did I mention we're live?
Well, you got to tell me that stuff.
I did.
Yeah,
no biggie. Come smile. Come smile to everybody. They're on that camera right there.
They don't want to see me. Let me just tell you. Anyway, so and then And then
This is classic John Force. There you go.
I don't see it. Anyway,
We see it.
Sorry, Joe, didn't mean to get it. But in the middle of it, they're yelling, get to the scales. Then Neff smokes the tires. Then I got to listen to the other guy, 401 for Hagen. You guys are all over here fainting on yourselves. I ran that quick last year in the 4 lanes. That's how I beat his 402 with the 403 when I went deep. Think about that. But whatever.
Hey, think about this.
That was then and this is now, John. We're talking this is
What have you
another
done
year.
lately?
You ain't a kidding. Why do you think I'm so upset? I'm proud of Hagen. His old hot rod's flying, and I congratulate him. You know what I'm saying?
Your
On
boys
what
are
they're
doing good, too.
But it still puts pressure. So, anyway, I'm out of here.
Hey, John, don't go yet. I have a question from Coach Kevin. And, you know, since you're out there, you've got, you know, cars that are capable of doing this. With temperatures cooling down and being cool on Sunday, can we see new national records?
Well, if you get me in the final, don't look at no records for me. I'm going deep. I'm cheating that light. That's how you win those championships. You cheat that light all you can. And
Shorten the track.
and
It's on deal.
That's right. Go after them. Forget about setting records. You want that win. And I ran that way at Houston. I went deep. You know, my old heap ran 5:02 there. And I think I put out the top ball or something. I don't know what I did. My guy said, because I'm mad. I'm in there like, why can they outrun us? I got this 500, Boss 500. My stuff's faster. You know, my hot rods are good, and they say, you already ran that quick. If you just quit going deep. But whatever.
20 championships standing here within 6 feet of one another. 15 for John, 5 for that guy right there. John, thank you, but our mic wasn't working that good either. So
That's okay. And then the guy pulled me upside down with the cords down at the other end. I finally took the stuff off. I said, I'm standing here wrapping me like a mummy.
Did you have a good time in New York?
Joe Motto, love you.
Love you, buddy.
There's a champion right there.
Now let's send you down to the far end. That's kind of what this Friday night ought to be all about. Just guys walking
Having fun,
in and out
yeah,
like
having
that.
fun.
Isn't that
Yeah,
cool?
you're right,
And
you're right.
taking a swig there is Dave Grubnick. Dave, good to have you on board. You're 4th now. Nice job. You want to tell us about that run?
Well, yeah, that was great. We, you know, we came out earlier, went an 85, and you know, we got after it. We were hoping to run down in the low 80s, and it gave us that. It moved around a little bit down track, probably just past half track, I'd say, where the clutch, it did one of those weld deals, and it moved the car over. But so I drove it a little bit further than 1,000 feet. It kind of puts a hoop into the whole thing. So we may have lost about 100th there, but still good representative run. You know, something for us to look at, something to work with. And, you know, conditions, this is probably what we'll have on Sunday. So, you know, all in all, you know, it's something we can race with.
Well, Grubby, you know, you're one of those drivers that can actually work on the race cars, understand what's going on. Explain to our viewers what it means when the clutch welds at half track.
What that means is, you know, these cars, it's like getting in a stick shift pickup truck and pretty much just mashing the throttle, hold the clutch in, put it in high gear, mash the throttle to the floor, let it sit there on the rev limiter, and then slowly start releasing the clutch. Now, you know, you'll eventually get up to speed, but, you know, obviously you're going to burn the clutch out, which we do every run. But what happens is we get that clutch so hot out there that it's wearing and it's getting so hot that it essentially just welds itself together, and that's what I'm suspecting happened to my car. It just, the whole thing just stuck together in one big instant out there, and then that just loads the chassis, loads the rear tires, and it sort of pitches you sideways a little bit. But it doesn't do it all the time, but when it does do it, you have to be ready for it, because you kind of got to correct the car back. But, you know, like I said, it just turns a 1,000-foot track into 1,050 or whatever it is just to get around it.
Well,
but that's essentially what happens.
And it takes a good racetrack, too, because if it welds on a marginal racetrack, usually it's going to blow the tires off, right?
Yep, you're absolutely right, Mikey. If that happened on a 100-degree plus racetrack, we would have just blown the hoops off it, exactly.
Hey, Grubby, Stat Guy is here, too.
Oh, hey,
Dave.
how you doing?
I'm doing great. Do you know who was the last driver to race Joe Amato in his Top Fuel career? Any idea?
Yeah, you know what else that driver did? I think he retired him, if I remember correctly. Wasn't that me at Pomona?
That's right.
That's terrible. Joe, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it.
That wasn't nice. You had no respect for your elders.
No, I did. I had the utmost respect, believe me. No, it was, I went over, shook his hand. You know, I think it was caught on camera, and, you know, it was like a fantastic career he had. You know, obviously I'd love to have that career, but yeah, I do remember that. He was the... Lewis, you're right. It was me.
Yeah, and Joe's sitting here looking at you and giving you that Italian kind of look right now. You know what I'm
Jesus
saying?
Christ, that's right. We're in Pennsylvania, aren't we?
No, you're okay. You're okay.
No.
I'm friends
Joe,
with, I'm friends
the
with
utmost
Connie.
respect.
It's like your dingo ate his baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.